Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Deidre-Ann Anderson, and this is my little piece of the internet where we talk about all things romance writing, romance. Ooh, new year. It's already open. Speaking of, when you see this, it will be the new year wherever you are. So, Happy New Year! Happy 2024! Again, I am Deidre-Ann Anderson. I write romance under two pen names, Deidre-Ann Anderson and Sky Winter. If you are into Black women, diversity, and the men who love them, then Deidre-Ann Anderson is who you want to check out. And if you are into fun, hot romances, then Sky Winter is who you want to check out. Now, this year, both will be of the short variety, so you can go ahead and get your read on, explore, dive into the world of adventure in like a weekend or so, but there will be some full reads as well that you can check out that I've already published under Deidre-Ann Anderson. So yes, 2024. Wow. 2023 was a year, right? It was... I wanted to say dumpster fire, but some good things also happened in 2023. So I'm just going to leave it at it was a year, right? It concluded and I'm happy it's gone. But I did learn a lot. I did achieve a lot in 2023, as much as I think of it as a dumpster fire. So let's go ahead and just put a few things out there of what I accomplished in 2023. Then I'll dive into and let you know the word that I'm going to use for this year. Whew, 2023, man, 2023. All right, in 2023, I'm only going to be focusing on the good stuff, right? I am over the bad stuff. I am forgetting it, okay? I didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to in 2023, but it was still a relatively good year. In 2023, I started publishing again for the very first time in two full years. I did do an anthology in between that did hit the USA bestseller list, so that's amazing, but it wasn't my personal story that I published. So I went in again in 2023 and I got some great advice from an author, a romance author, fellow romance author that writes about diverse characters as well, Terlin Mitchell. And she advised me to just go for it. At this point, I had books I was sitting on. I still have books I'm sitting on. I had books I was sitting on, practically almost ready to just upload and publish. And she gave me the push I needed to just go for it, right? And I did, and boy, am I happy I did, because the reception has been wonderful. And so, boy, I am grateful for my readers, for my community, and it's just, wow. It's just surreal to know that people actually want to read my words. So that is a driving force that I'm taking with me into 2024, because sometimes you can, as writers, you can get bundled down and you can tell yourself, no one wants to hear your words, no one wants to hear you. So you end up not writing because you're like, no one cares, no one wants to write. But I'm telling you that's not true, right? Everyone has their community. And if you're not making all the sales right now, it's just because you haven't found your readership yet. But they are out there. So keep writing and doing what you love, because your readership is out there and they're waiting for your books. All right, so in 2023, I published 8 books, right? 2 full length and 6 shorts. Now, I published 2 full length under Deidre-Ann Anderson. I published, it was basically a rule series that I started. I published the first 2 in that rule series, right? And the reception on that was amazing. If you see me looking over here, it's because my computer is down here. And as 2023 went by in a blur for me, because towards the end of the year, I had a lot of brain fog. So I had to literally look back on my Amazon to see, like, when did things happen? Because my brain just blocked it out. Like, it happened, it was good, and it's like my brain said, no, you're not going to listen to any of the good things that happened this year, because we are focusing on the bad. We're focusing on the negative, and that's what it clung to. I have PCOS, so depression is a given. And sometimes my brain just wants to say, that's all that is. But it wasn't. It was amazing, an amazing publishing year for me. When you look at things in perspective, right? It was an amazing publishing year. And so the books I published in 2023 are as follows. First up was Changing Her Rules, right? This was a fun one night stand, forced proximity story that lived with me for a while. And I started writing it and then told myself, what am I doing? This shouldn't be out in the world. It doesn't have any angst. It doesn't have any. That's what I told myself, right? So I parked it. And then when Deidre-Ann told me to go ahead and do it, I started rereading my work. I'm like, I wrote this? Did I write this? That time when you get that out of body experience thinking to yourself, did you really write this? But I read it, I reread it, and it was good. And I found some jokes where I was like, wait, I did this. So I decided to take the plunge and publish it, and it's been getting some very good reception. That was published back in, I don't even remember when I published these things, guys. It's just because, as I said, I blocked it all out, which is sad. But that was published back in July, right? And that was the very first book I had published in 2 years under my own name, right? And it felt good. It felt really good. And it's like when you remember that it's like riding a bike. Like when you stop for a while, you forget how to do it. And as soon as you get back on, it eventually comes back to you. The moment I hit publish, well, it was a pre-order. But the moment that book published and it started getting readership, it's like a button went off and a switch went off inside me. And my brain just said, okay, we're going for it. You can do this. You remember how. And so I hit that publishing train and I hit it hard. Again, remember, most of these books were already written. They just needed to be edited. Well, these 2 books, they just needed to be edited and reread and proofread. But that's what I thought. So that happened for the first one. It went out. And then it came time to release the second one in the series. And I was like, I reread it and I did not like it. The first time I wrote it, I stopped like 3/4 of the way because I told myself the characters were too childish. Like no one wants to read these adults being children and being catty. And so I parked it. And it was actually this is for Breaking Her Rules. It was actually a storyline that my husband gave me. And I thought that it was so childish, and no adult acts like this. I'm lying. I act like this. But and many of my friends too. But I just told myself it wasn't going to be good. And that book has gotten nothing but 5 and 4 stars. And I'm like, wait. People like this because I just took the plunge. And that's what I'm saying, guys. Believe in yourself, because that imposter syndrome, it's annoying. It's annoying, but it will get you, and it will tell you, regardless of what you're doing, if you're writing, if you're drawing, if you're doing anything artistic, that imposter syndrome will tell you that your craft is no good, right? But it's lying. Just believe in yourself and go. You noticing a trend, right? Believe in yourself and go for it. All right. So anyways, so I did go ahead and get that published. I put it out in the public. I released it. And I published the second book in the series in September. Now you're going to see that September for me was the best month, and then all hell broke loose. So also in September of 2023, I created a new pen name, Sky Winter. Well, the pen name was created before, a long time ago. I just did not use it for anything. I just had it in the back of my mind, and I went back and forth of if I was going to make it a public pen name or not, or if I was going to keep it to myself, right? I decided to make it a public pen name because I wanted to see, so I'm testing a lot of things in my author career, right? I wanted to see the difference and easily compare how pen names perform because there's this whole thing with Authortube, right? Or whatever community that you're in. Because people around you want to support you, and that's amazing, right? That people even think of supporting. The problem with that is if that supporter is not in your normal readership, these book these book vendors, the Amazons, the Barnes and Nobles, the Kobo, they all look at the reading history of the people that are reading your books and then start recommending your books to other people that read stuff they usually read. So what happens is that you don't end up finding your readers, right? But anyways, so I wanted to test the difference between how a known pen name got picked up in the algorithm versus how an unknown pen name did. Right? So I'll probably do a video further down in the year about both. There's a hint there that I'm testing one side now. I have to test the other one in order to give you the full results, right? So yeah, so I leave what I'm finding about that for a further video. So stay tuned for that. Good point, good time here to pause, because I have a lot of testing that I've been doing over 2023 that I will be giving you my findings in 2024. So if you are interested in publishing and you haven't yet, you don't have time for the A/B testing. That's what I've been doing for most of 2023. I've been testing covers, I've been testing pen names, marketing techniques. It's been a whole journey, and I have all these to put in videos to put out there. So if you are interested in publishing or romance or any genre, because things in the publishing industry are basically adjacent, just from different paths. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you can be notified each and every time one of these videos are posted, and hit that like button so I know that you're supporting me and like what I'm doing here. It tells the algorithms that you like the content that I'm putting out and you want to see me grow and continue on this journey. So do that if you haven't already, and let's get back to my reflections for 2023. This is probably going to end up being a reflections video for 2023, and then I'll record a second video with my word of the year. You'll probably see me in the same clothing, okay? I'm batch uploading this year so that I can continue giving you consistent content. So just to note, if you see, well, I have a lot of black shirts, so if you keep seeing me have a lot of the same shirt, don't judge. I like what I like and I buy a lot of it. So if you see me in the same thing, just overlook it, okay? And move on and soak in the information. I'm crazy, okay? Welcome to my crazy world. Anyways, back to 2023. As I was saying, 2023 was the birth of Sky Winter. I did go ahead and launch Sky Winter as well in September under what I call the September challenge, right? My challenge was to basically vlog myself in September, writing and publishing 4 books, 4 shorts. Was it 4 or 5? I don't remember. It was either 4 or 5 books in the month. And I was like, I think it was 4 because I wanted to do a book a week. And so here set out my highest point of the year and my downward spiral health-wise. So September started and I jumped into the challenge. I jumped in with open arms, and then tragedy struck because I lost I don't know what happened, but my computer, and I lost a lot of what I had written before. So it's like, ooh, I gotta start over. And it's like, I said I wasn't focusing on the negative. So that was, but I picked up and I rose from the ashes. And so in September, I published 4 in September? Let me tell you what they were and when they were, and I'll get the numbers. So first up was Snapshot of Love. This is all in a series called Pride Mountains, Montgomery Siblings, because it's essentially a small town called Pride Mountains, and they're all siblings in the Montgomery family, and they all have weird journeys that lead them into this little small town of Pride Mountains, right? Turns out that their parents were their mother was initially from Pride Mountains when it started out, and she met their father. That story, I won't give you a lot of that because I'm still on the fence if I'll go back eventually and probably write that as a piece of bonus content for my subscribers there. By the way, both my subscription links for Deidre-Ann and Sky Winter will be down below in the description box. So, well, if I can, because I heard that YouTube may have made some changes where you can't really put links per se down below, clickable links. So if I'm able to, I will. If not, then I'll I'll try to put the link. You may have to copy it and paste it. It may not be a clickable link, but yeah, I'll put it down there regardless. Just let me know in the comments if you can actually click on it, and that will tell me how to go from there. But the first book was Snapshot of Love, right? That is a basically small town, fish out of water, mountain man, insta love, right? So it follows the characters meeting and essentially going down a path of love reluctantly, right? Because try as they may, Harper and Brody are two that are just, try as they may, they cannot stay away from each other. They keep being drawn to each other like a magnet, and it goes down a path that no one expects it to go, right? So that was Snapshot of Love, and that one came out on September 10th, right? September 10th, and it was just put out there, not expecting much. As I said, this is a new pen name, a brand new pen name, starting from scratch, but this is a public one. So I did make it public to see how the algorithms would pick up on it, right? They are all short romances. So it went out in September. It hasn't really done badly. It's gotten some reviews, it's gotten some sales and some book reads, so there's nothing I can complain about that. It's going well, right? It's surprising me because it's a brand new pen name, as I said, and I was also in school, so I wasn't really giving these books the marketing that it needed. My marketing in 2023 was atrocious, but we'll correct that this year, right? Next up was Trail to Her Heart. And shout out to JC Carpenter, because she did help me come up with a lot of these titles. And so thank you. If you're watching this, thank you. You were amazing, an amazing help. Because sometimes titles are hard, okay? Titles are hard, blurbs are hard. So having that bouncing wall to bounce ideas off of and get that instant feedback was really helpful. Really helpful. So thank you so much. This series would not be what it is today without your help with these titles and some of these storylines, because it's just good to have someone to bounce ideas off of. So JC, Nia, Tiffany, Des, Esther, you guys were an amazing help, right? Because as I said, that PCOS, that depression, sometimes your brain talks you into things and tells you that your ideas don't make sense, don't matter, but having that sounding board off of you guys really helps. So thank you. Right, so Trail to Her Heart was released on September 18th. You realize I did make the 1 week deadline there, and you'll find for all of the series up to the last book, because we'll get there when we get there, but I did actually stick to the 1 book per, right? So I did stick to that 1 book per week for all of September. So that's a plus. Surprised myself while in school, while doing things for another pen name. 1 book a week is hard, guys. I'm telling you, it is hard. I'm surprised I did it for all of September. That was the challenge though. So I did do the challenge, and I'm freaking proud that I did. All right. And so that was the second book. Book 3 in that series was Seizing Her Heart. That was book 3, right? Asha and the Sheriff. Now that book came out on September 23rd, right? And this is where, I started slowing down. This is where it really started taking a toll on me, because it really started becoming basically, this challenge for me, because of the whole thing. It wasn't to write the books in a month. I wanted to write the books in a week, because it was the Write a Book in a Week challenge that was going on in the Authortubes. And so, but their book was like a full length, and I was These are short. So I was like, sure, I can do this in a week. I couldn't. I could not have. But I decided to switch the challenge to the month. And that one I did. All right. So it was Seizing Her Heart. That also, these books are all in KU right now. And it's still getting reads. So it is really, 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 really astonishing to me. Because I'm not really doing much marketing. Right. And I also tried something different with the covers for some of these books. That would also be in another video to the cover, what is expected of covers, and what happens when you go off the rails. I design book covers, guys. Diverse Book Designs. You can find my pre-mades and custom on diversebookdesigns.com. Shameless plug. I'll drop the link down below and somewhere here across the screen. But yeah, so I experimented with covers in this one and the results were interesting. That will also be in a video in 2024. Are you getting the gist here? So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. There's a lot of videos I have planned, right? After Seizing Her Heart was Faking It to Love. Y'all know my favorite trope is fake romance, right? So I had a ton of fun with that one. A ton of fun. And that one was the last one, the first one in October. Seizing Her Heart was the last one in September. And I said, why not bring, because these books were all written in September, but of course, there are not enough weeks. So I decided to push it through, right, for the rest of the year, or so I thought. So Faking It to Love came out on October 1st. And yeah, that was a fun romance. That followed the youngest Montgomery sibling, Jacqueline and Cole, that we all met in Snapshot of Love. And their romance was fun. It was funny. It was unexpected. So many things happened that you made the people say, what are you guys doing? But it was fun. And I had a ton of fun writing it. And readers have been having fun reading it. So that one was one of my favorite from the series. To both to write and read, because you got to be a fan of yourself, right? And then so the fifth book in that series and the last official one in the Montgomery siblings was Second Chance at Love, which followed the oldest sibling and someone we met from book 2 in that series that was a firecracker, and I knew from jump that she needed to get her own book, and she got it here. And this one was more spicy, saucy, not spicy as in smixy times, so spicy as in a lot of things happened here that made people say like, wait, what? What did he say? And so she was more of a sassy heroine. And I think that's basically my bag, where I like writing sassy heroines, right? I like when women have a backbone. And so that's what I explored here, and it was really fun to write. And this one, you're gonna see a trend here in these dates. This one here, the fifth one, came out on October 15th. That's right. If you realize I've skipped a week in October, because this is when I started getting sick, right? And this is when this last quarter, I tell you, took me out. So the first book was in the first week of October and the second book was in the third. So I skipped a week, but then what this did teach me is that every other week, like publishing the books 2 weeks, every 2 weeks instead of every week, seemed to be far more comfortable for me. And so that's what I'm going to continue in this year, in the year of 2024. But yeah, I did learn that lesson, especially because you got to make provisions for life, right? Life will happen whether you want it to or not. So yeah, and so that was the last book in the Montgomery series. And Sky Winter went non-existent for a little while because I got sick. Deidre-Ann Anderson went non-existent for a little while. I had to push back, cancel pre-order. And that was really, that one really hurt, because it was in the Rules of Love series that I was having so much fun in, but I just couldn't get it done. I had crazy brain fog. I was not feeling like myself, and everyone around me knew. Right? Again, shout out to this community, because they aren't even around me and they picked up that something was wrong, and it just went downhill, right? But when I got back to myself and I was able to actually get stuff done, I went ahead and I did a final hurrah for Sky Winter for that year and the year that just ended yesterday. And I released a Christmas novella, well, a Christmas short. It is Her Christmas Cowboy. And that one too was also, I was still getting over brain fog, so it took a little bit out of me to write. I had to draw in my hubby on this one to help me to figure out if these things made sense. When you're going through brain fog, it is difficult to do anything creative, and your brain just doesn't, like, it's like you're doing what you're supposed to do because you know that's what you're supposed to do and you're going through, but your brain can't process it. It's difficult, right? And I can't explain it because it's just hard to explain, but that's what I was going through here. But I did try to get the words on paper, and with the help of my hubs, I did get through it, and we were able to get this published. It's Her Christmas Cowboy. That one came out a little bit late for the Christmas novella, so it didn't take off as I wanted it to. It was published on December 4th, but that was the last book I published for the year. It was under Sky Winter, and that ended my 2023 publishing journey. Now, this video is already 26 minutes, so of course, the word of the year video will have to be recorded as a different video, and you'll get that also in this week, but further down. All right, and so in light of reflections, 2023 taught me a whole lot about myself as a person and about my publishing journey, right? And so I have soaked in all the lessons I've learned because they were taught to me whether I wanted to or not. The biggest lesson I learned this year is that self-care is important. And also, when you're making your writing plans, consider everything else that's going on around you in your life. If you're a student as well, that's a stressful endeavor. If you are also working a full-time job, that's a stressful endeavor as well. If you're like me and you're doing the cover design business, you're doing the writing, you have 2 pen names now that you have to do marketing for. Social media on a whole is time consuming and stressful. You have to train these algorithms. You can't just make a post, push it out, and hope that it finds your readers. It will not. I can tell you that from experience. It will not. So you have to train these algorithms, and that takes time. That's time out of your schedule. And of course, you're an author, so you have to also be writing. Many of us have other side gigs that we're doing as well because life takes money to live, right? So take all these things into account when you're making your plans. It can be easy to make unrealistic and superhero-like plans. I do them all the time. I still do them sometimes for fun. To tell myself, okay, this is the ideal plan I would like. But then in the back of my mind, I have a more realistic one that I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can start with this one. Right? So yeah, that's the thing. I also learned that I don't do well when I put what I'm going to do out before I do it. So I will not have a 2024 goals video. I did do a whole Kanban, right, of things I had to get accomplished. That will just be for me. You guys will just see it and be surprised when it happens. I will not be announcing anything beforehand because I found for my personal self that gives me more anxiety. So I'll just let you know things that you'll be getting when I am sure 100% that you'll be getting them. Speaking of, I do have a book that releases tomorrow called Her Very Fake Fiance. So it is a short read. You can read it in a weekend or in a day if you're a fast reader. So it is available on all platforms for pre-order right now. Again, I'll drop the link below if I can still drop links. As I said, YouTube is making changes for the new year. So if I can still add links to my description, I'll drop the link below. If not, it's available on all retailers. So simply head over to your preferred retailer and type in Her Very Fake Fiance. Right? It is also a fake dating. It's under Deidre-Ann Anderson, and it is a hoot. So if you want a fun read to start your year, go ahead and check that out. And this will probably be the end of this video. I'll just make it a 2023 wrap up. And yeah, the next video you'll see from me will be the word of the year, which this video was supposed to be, but turned into something else. It's the new year. It's the first day of the year. Reflections are a must. So I hope you enjoyed this reflection. Again, my name is Deidre-Ann Anderson. I publish under 2 pen names. I have Deidre-Ann Anderson for Black women and those who love them, and Sky Winter for fun, steamy romances. All right, so if you guys or into love, you guys love romance, go ahead and check out those pen names. Again, there's so much coming from this channel this year. I have so many videos already planned. I will be announcing them closer to the time when I have them recorded and scheduled, right? So if you are on this publishing journey, if you're publishing romance or even another genre, but want to get some behind the scenes information, tips and tricks from someone who's already struggling through making the mistakes so you don't have to, go ahead and hit subscribe on the button below. Ding that notification bell so you can be notified each and every time I upload, and hit that like button. For this year, 2024, I'll also be over on Twitch. Again, I did announce that before, but the link will also be down below. So many links for y'all to check out. Make sure you visit that description box, all right? Right now, the channel is called D Game and Chill. In about 2 months-ish, when I can change it, in about a month. I think a month is already almost here. But in about 2 months, by at least March, the channel will be called D Write and Chill, because in the second quarter, I'll be doing writing sprints as well as gaming on that channel. Not in the first. In the first quarter is all about getting my ish together, okay? So I'm not sure if I'll be doing writing sprints over there, but if I do, I'll let you know here. And so stay tuned to that community tab. Another reason you should be subscribed to the channel, because that's where I communicate with y'all. That's where my announcements will be. All right. So stay tuned. Keep an eye there. And until we meet again, be kind to each other. Have a brilliant 2024. Get all the words, get all the goals, get all the success and prosperity. And see you next time. Bye, guys.